Jefferson County Court, law number 2 is now in session. The court is in session with the announcement docket and motion to revoke probation docket. First case we're calling on the announcement docket is cause number M334164. Case is style of state of Texas versus Christopher Strathers. Excuse me. Mr. Strathers is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Strathers, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Strathers, you represented your case by your attorney, Benjamin Jeffers. Attorney Jeffers, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Erica Porter. Attorney Porter, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Your Honor. Thanks.
Mr. Jeffers, what is your announcement in Mr. Strathers' case?
We've just asked for a short recess this morning, maybe 30 days to collect the offer and compare it with the discovery.
Okay. Okay. Give us a reset date. Okay, this case will be set on October 25th of 2023. Mr. Strathers, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You are free to go, and you have a blessed day. And
Yes, sir.
You're welcome. And Mr. Jeffries, you can get your reset. Once you get your reset, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Court is in session in cause number 23, CCCR 0460. Case is style of state of Texas versus Lindsay Castile. Ms. Castile, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Ms. Castile?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Castile, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Dustin Gilmore. Attorney Gilmore, how you doing?
Great, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Gilmore, what is your announcement in Ms. Castile's case?
We have an announcement today. We're still collecting the discovery and the videos. We have one more announcement.
Okay, how much time do you need?
Whatever the 30 or 45 days.
November 8th.
Okay, this case will be reset to November 8th of 2023. Give you opportunity to complete your discovery. In this case, you said you need to get some videos?
Yes, we need to finish getting everything.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Castile, your case is going to be reset to November 8th, 2023. Your attorney will get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Gilmore, I think this is your only case.
I have one more day, Quinn.
You do?
Maybe she's next door.
Yeah, I don't see it on the docket.
Next door.
Okay. You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Next case is cause number M333202. Case is style, the state of Texas versus Reginald King.
Good morning.
Mr. King, your full name is Reginald King.
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. King?
All right.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. King, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, how are you doing?
Well, Your Honor, good morning.
That's good. Now, Mr. Padgett, what is your announcement in Mr. King's case?
Your Honor, we have received all discovery now, so what I need is just, I need about 30 days to line up some time to get him the videotape and sit in my office and do the discovery in the office. I'm quite certain we can dispose of the case. I've reviewed everything. I just want Mr. King to have the opportunity to sit down with me and discuss it and review it as well. If the state's not opposed.
The state telephone.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute.
I'm not sure, is this yours, Ms. Porter?
No.
Okay, yeah, because I emailed Kobe for an offer. So what I was thinking, but you know how it is sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wanted to dispose of it today, I could, but if not.
I understand.
Mhm.
What is the, give us a reset date?
November 8th.
That's fine with us.
Let's go to fine.
It's
Okay, this
with-
case will be reset to November 8th of 2023. Mr. King, give you an opportunity to review the discovery with your attorney in the videos. At this time, your attorney will be given a copy of your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, right outside. Okay, thank you.
Next case is cause number M333-468. The case is style of state of Texas versus Trayvon M. McGowan. This is cause number M333-468. The case is style of state of Texas versus Trayvon M. McGowan. Mr. McGowan, is that your full name?
Yes, sir. Trayvon Montrose.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. McGowan?
Complaints starting to cool down.
Hmm?
Second complaints starting to cool down outside.
You said it's starting to cool down outside.
Oh, okay.
Too much.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Those mornings feel good.
Ms. McGowan, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, what's your announcement, Ms. McGowan?
Your Honor, we need to go on a plea docket here. I've received all the discovery. The issue here is this was Mr. Johnson's case for quite a while, and
Okay.
that's Ms. Porter's case.
Okay,
So there are some things I would like to sit down and discuss with Ms. Porter. So if you could just give us 30 days, I'm quite certain we can.
you said reset it on the plea docket? Give us a reset.
And then once I talk to Ms. Porter, I'd like to sit down with Mr. McGowan here.
October 16th.
So you and I.
Okay, it's gonna be on October 16th, 2023. To reset to October 16th, 2023.
That's fine. Oh, plenty of time.
And Mr. McGowan, your attorney is going to get your reset. Your case is reset to October 16, 2023. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
So as soon as we need to start.
Mr. Padgett. Is this your last case, Mr. Padgett?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a
Okay,
blessed day.
thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate your consideration.
Okay,
Thank you,
you're
Ms. Porter. I'll send you. the paperwork and then I'll call.
Court is in session. And cause number M333 148. Case is style of state of Texas versus Dalen Terrell Edmondson. Mr. Edmondson, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edmondson, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Edmondson, I was looking at the docket sheet. There's a note on the docket sheet that states this case is reset for you to apply for Veterans Court.
Yes, I tried to.
Okay, so you didn't get accepted? That's just, okay. Now, let's see. Um, Now, Mr. Edmondson, I see here on the April 25th of 2023, you signed a document that titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. And on that document, there's your signature and your initials on the line say, I want to waive my right to an attorney and represent myself. And that's what you still want to do?
I mean, the last time I tried to hire one, it didn't go, and then I tried to get a court appointed attorney as well. And
Oh,
that
let
was
me-
for the very first time.
okay, let me see. That should be in the paper. Let's see. Judge's bond condition, no. Court appointment. I don't see that paperwork. I'll tell you what, just fill out, I don't, well, this case goes back, I see you had about one forfeiture at one point. And just one, any notice of setting judgment, you see appointment. Must have been in jail, you had an attorney. Okay, rescind, okay, document surety. Okay, you need to fill out a Jefferson County affidavit of indigence if you want to see if you qualify for court appointed attorney. Okay, then we'll review that document to see whether or not you meet the eligibility requirements. Okay, so just have a seat and the bailiff is going to bring out the paperwork to you. You have some? Okay. He has a clipboard.
I was doing one of that. That ain't-
Oh, they still had a clipboard?
Mhm. Oh, right now.
Okay. Is next two cases are cause numbers M333534 and cause number M33538. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Tijuan Mac. Okay. Mr. Mack, your full name is Tijuan Mack?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Mack? Well, I'm doing fine. Let me do this here. It's a bond, that's all I say. Okay. Now, Mr. Mack, the last time that you were here, I see a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. On this document, it states that you wanted your case at that time to be reset so that you can have time to hire your own attorney. Have you hired your attorney? Why haven't you hired your attorney?
Court appointed.
Hold on a minute. So you say now you're saying you want to apply for court appointed attorney?
No,
Right now, what? Well, you have to change your paperwork. You'd have to, we have to give him a judge's explanation of rights to defend us without an attorney. I think, let me see. At one time, you did, state that you wanted to waive your right to an attorney to represent yourself. That was on May 2nd, 2023. And then on July 14 of 2023, apparently you changed your mindset. You wanted to hire an attorney. Is that correct? So now you want to change it again to, he can have a seat out there. Just have a seat and fill that paperwork out. And then, because he has to fill out a waiver too. Once you finish filling that paperwork out, we'll have you to come back up. Juan Herrera?
I was next door.
Okay, sir. This is cause number M333-526. Case of Styles of State of Texas versus Juan Herrera. Mr. Herrera, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Herrera? You doing fine? Mr. Herrera, you're represented by your attorney, Laura Perazo. Attorney Perazo, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
You're welcome. And Ms. Perazo, what is your announcement in Mr. Herrera's case?
The judge, Mr. Herrera was set to plead today to 30 days jail, and we were going to ask that his time be served on the weekends. However, Mr. Herrera has just informed me that he is without a vehicle. He is employed. He had to ride his bike here. He's afraid that if he does the plea that he's in the process of getting a car. He thinks if we could reset the case for maybe another 30 days, that he could have a car by then. His employer is working with him to help facilitate that. He just wants to make sure that, because he doesn't have anybody to actually bring him to the jail, and he doesn't want to get in trouble, and it's a really far way to go on the bike, and he doesn't know if he'll be able to put his bike.
You can't get Uber?
It's the money.
Oh, okay.
If we could just have just a short recess, Your Honor, just.
It's up to the state. The state made the offer.
How long have we reset the move?
Just 30 days.
Okay, but just understand whether he has transportation or not, he's gonna be expected to turn.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so he's gonna be reset the plea on, give us 30 days in October.
October 18th, well, the 25th.
Okay, this case will be reset to October 25th of 2023. Mr. Herrera, the plea. Mr. Herrera, your attorney will be given notice of your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Okay. Willie Guidry? This is cause number M330-398. Case is style the state of Texas versus Willie Ray Guidry. Mr. Guidry, is that your full name?
Yes, senior.
Willie Ray Guidry Senior? How are you doing, Mr. Guidry?
Right, Judge.
Yeah, that's good. Now, Mr. Guidry, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams, who is a appearing via Zoom. Mr. Adams, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And again, Mr. Guidry, how are you doing again?
Okay,
You
good.
you're doing okay? That's good. Now, Mr. Adams, what is your announcement in Mr. Guidry's case?
Mr. Guidry has been to my office previously. When I spoke to him last, he wanted to go through some more discovery. So if we just give us one more announcement, then I'll be ready. But he's already been to my office once.
Okay, Mr. Guidry, your case is going to be reset to give you time to, I guess, get with your attorney to go through the discovery. This case is going to be reset to November 8th of 2023. You will get your reset here in court. Once you get your reset here in court, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator so that she can give you your reset.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Adams,
Mr. Adams, have you received all the discovery in this case? Do you have everything?
That's a good question, right?
Great
Hey,
question.
I believe I should because I think this is a new case.
Okay, all right, thank you.
okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. Y'all take it easy.
He's starting early.
I know, right? Early in the morning, man.
All right. All right.
Y'all take it easy.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay, the case is back in session and cause number M 333-534. Case is style of state of Texas versus, and cause number M 333-538. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Tijuan Mac. Mr. Mack, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mack, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Mack, you may put your hand down. Mr. Mack, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Mr. Mack, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? And are these your initials on the line that state you want to waive your right to an attorney, which means give up your right to an attorney and to represent yourself? I also have another document before me that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea or Proceeding to Trial. Mr. Mack, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mack, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Mack, just please have a seat and we'll have the prosecutor talk to you in a few minutes. Now this is cause number M333148, case of style of state of Texas versus, do you pronounce it Dalen? Dalen Edmondson. Mr. Edmondson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Edmondson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Edmondson, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Edmondson, I have before me a document that is titled, well, two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You recognize this document? Mr. Edmondson, is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant? And are these your initials on the line that state you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney? I also have a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Innocence. You recognize this document? And on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Edmondson, is this your signature above the line that is titled Defender Signature? And Mr. Edmondson, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents? You understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Edmondson, I read your answers. Based on the answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. The attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney William Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court clerk, the court coordinator, will give you that information. Once she gives you that information, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Just please have a seat on the third seat on the wall. This is cause number M333458, case of style of state of Texas versus Anthony Craig Foster Jr. Mr. Foster, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Foster?
Well, how about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Foster, I see here that you signed a document which is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. You signed this document on July 11th of 2023, stating that you wanted that case, you wanted this case reset to hire an attorney. And now have you hired your attorney?
Yeah, we be talking right now. His name is Mark Fargo, Fagard. Yeah, he told me, I just spoke to him yesterday. He said he was gonna get to the case for me. I told him I had court today. He just told me that actually you said it for him.
Okay, so you're gonna hire attorney Fargard, you said?
Yes, sir, Mark Fargo.
Okay, so how much time do you need to hire?
We haven't really discussed it yet.
Okay, so you're saying that it's Mark Faggart is his name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna reset you 60 days.
Yes, sir.
That should be enough time to hire?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give him a reset for 60 days. Mr. Foster, you're gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Just have a seat in that first chair by the wall. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and cause number M334264, cases style of state of Texas versus Hargay Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez is present in court. Mr. Gonzalez, is that your full name? Mr. Gonzalez, how are you doing? You doing good? Okay. Now, Mr. Gonzalez, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Thomas Burbank, who is appearing via Zoom. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Burbank, what is your announcement in Mr. Gonzalez's case?
Your Honor, at this time, I have to ask for a reset. There is some questions that I have that I need answered in reference to citizenship and immigration. And once I get those answered,
Okay,
I'll be able to try to work this out.
okay. How much time do you need?
Just a regular reset, Judge, would be good for an announcement document.
Okay, give us the reset date. Okay, this case will be reset to November 8th.
That's fine, Judge.
Mr. Burbank and Mr. Gonzalez, your case is reset to November 8th. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get the reset from the coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. And Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused.
Yes, your reset will be sent to you. You may be excused and you have a blessed day.
You too, Judge. Good seeing you.
All right, nice seeing you. Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0728, case of style, the state of Texas versus Kevin Lynn Abear. Mr. Abear, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Abear, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Abear, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Abear, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Abear?
I'm doing fine with you.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Abear, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have a right to have an attorney. The document that you have before you is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Now, this document informs you as to what your rights are regarding your right to have an attorney. And the document basically states that as a defendant in a criminal case, you have 3 options regarding your right to have an attorney. Number 1, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 2, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
Yes, Your Honor.
And number 3, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that option?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, this document further states that if you want an attorney to represent you and you have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire an attorney, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. Now, if you want to waive your right to an attorney or give up your right to have an attorney and represent yourself, you may not speak to the prosecutor. That's the prosecutor right here to my left and your right. You can't speak to her about your case unless you first sign a written waiver of your right to have an attorney. Now, be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in a worse outcome for you, including your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunity relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and request that an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, at the bottom of this same document, in bold letters, it states defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. Now, if your choice is to hire your own attorney, then you will place your initials on the first line to the left. If you have already hired an attorney to represent you, then you will place your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney and the line to the right. If you want to apply for a court-appointed attorney, then you will place your initials on the third line to the left. Okay, you'll place your initials on the third line to the left.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, if you've already been appointed a court-appointed attorney, you place your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you want to waive your right to an attorney, which means to give up your right to an attorney and represent yourself, you place your initials on the fifth line to the left. Now, once you finish initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign your name on the line that is titled defendants. And you will date it today's date on the line that is titled date. And the date is September 20th of 2023. You can go ahead on and initial, sign, and date for that document. Okay, yeah, he can have a seat at that table to fill out that financial questionnaire. Let's,
Do this certification. For both of them.
do you have that, oh, never mind. She's gonna print them all.
I'm printing them out for you.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and cause number M333372. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Monique Antoinette Arellano.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Arellano, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Arellano, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Ms. Arellano?
Okay, Your Honor.
That's good. Now, Ms. Arellano, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor. Thanks for this.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Hall, do you waive a record in Ms. Arellano's case?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Arellano, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Monique Antoinette Arellano, on or about June 2nd of 2022, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Ms. Arellano, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Ms. Arellano, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily,
Yes, Your Honor.
and are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials AA or MAA on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are these your initials on the line? There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Ms. Arellano, do you understand this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recognize this document? Excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Hall, I think you need to sign it. That says Defendant's Attorney. Thank you. Ms. Arellano, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Hall, go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Your
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment state, which you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1.
Yes, Judge.
No objection.
No objection, State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Ms. The Hall, you've advised and counseled Ms. Arellano. Is there any evidence that she is mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
And Ms. Arellano, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you're mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and the state is accepting State's Exhibit 1 in this case. Now, Ms. Porter, the state have an offer in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that offer?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state has offered 90 over 1 year probation, a $500 fine, or cost 60 hours of community service, interlock DWI intervention program.
That'd be education.
The intervention and interlock programs. Both of them have individual programs. And
Yes, the intervention program, interlock.
the standard requirements. Standard.
Okay. Now, Ms. Arellano, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $407. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a year analysis fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay the DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Now, should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $166 a month. Ms. Arellano, will you be able to pay the $166 each month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Arellano, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Arellano, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate your time.
You want to have a seat? Oh, thank you. Just have a seat, and the court clerk is going to call you up to a window.
That's fine.
Do we have new ones ready?
We do.
I don't have it yet. But, oh, here it is. Okay. What's the court cost in Newman? You know, this is cause number 23CCCR0361. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Jenny Rebecca Newman. Ms. Newman, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Newman, could you please raise your right hand? Ms. Newman, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Ms. Newman, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Newman?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Newman, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, do you waive a record in Ms. Newman's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Newman, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about October 8th of 2022, while you, Jenny Rebecca Newman, was in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Ms. Newman, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Newman, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Ms. Newman. Mr. Hall. Check that box right there. Let me erase that. Thank you. Now, Miss. Okay, now, Ms. Newman, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. You notice that there's one box that's checked, the box that's checked says that this is driving while intoxicated first, and that the range of punishment is a minimum of 72 hours to a maximum of 180 days in Jefferson County Jail and a fine that does not exceed $2,000. Do you understand the range of punishment for driving while intoxicated Class B?
Yes.
Now, on page 2 of the same document, I guess this is your initials on the line next to a box that's checked guilty.
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Ms. Newman, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? I also have before me. Okay, now, Mr. Hall, you've advised, well, Ms. Newman, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you would like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 to misdemeanor plea admonishment?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection, State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Hall, you've advised and counsel, you've advised and counseled Ms. Newman. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Newman, your attorney, Mr. Hall, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. Newman, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state has offered 1 year deferred, $500 fine for a cause, 60 hours community service, interlocking definite intervention program.
You said that was 60 hours of community service?
Correct.
What's the court cost in this?
I'm
How much?
about to
Okay.
Before the fine and time payment fee is 370.
370. Yeah. Okay, Ms. Newman, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this deferred probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $370. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And you'll be required to pay the DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you will be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installment, that is, the total amount that you will be required to pay each month is $162 a month. Will you be able to pay the $162 each month?
Yes.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You will have to attend and complete the intervention class or the intervention course. You will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Ms. Newman, do you have a commercial driver's license?
No.
Okay, and her blood alcohol was lower than 0.15, is that correct? State? It was, okay. Okay, and this occurred after September 1 of 2019? Okay, so Ms. Newman, do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Newman, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Newman, this will conclude this case. Ms. Newman, if you successfully complete your probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in conviction in your record. You may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. So the court is going to follow the plea bargain recommendation. In this case, Ms. Newman, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Well, have a seat, and then the clerk is going to call you up to her window.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You have a blessed day. Court is in session and the next two cases and cause number M333-534 and cause number M333-538. Both cases on style the state of Texas versus Tijuana Mac. Mr. Mack, your full name is Tijuana Mack. Mr. Mack, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mack, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Mack, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Mack? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Mack, I have before me actually two documents. These documents are titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. And again, do you recognize these documents? And the first document, Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants without an Attorney, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials online that you would like to waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself? And I have before me a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mack, before you sign any initial these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay, now, Mr. Mack, yeah, you have a right, Mr. Mack, to have a record made. That is, you have a right to have a court reporter to type down everything that's being said, or you can waive or give up your right to have a court report. Do you waive or give up the right to have a court report? Okay. Now, Mr. Mack, I also have before me a document that is titled Information. This information in cause number M333538, this information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Mack, it alleges that you, Tijuana Mack, on or about September 12th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Mack, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Mack, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, and are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Okay. Now, Mr. Mack, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are two sets of initials. The first set of initials is on a line that's next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials are below a paragraph that is titled Discovery Admonishment, and it's on a line that reads as follows. I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in the case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the bottom of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And I also have before me a document. Okay. I'll say this later. Now, Mr. Mack, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I showed you, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mack, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer state's exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Mack, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State's exhibit number 1 is a document that you said that you recognize was the third document that I showed you. First document on this tablet that I showed you. And this is the same document that have your initials in the 2 locations, one on the box by guilty and the other one below the paragraph that is titled Discovery Admonishment. And it also has your signature above the line that is on the 3rd page that's titled Defendant. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Mack, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Mr. Mack, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Judge.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state has offered 1 year deferred, $500 bond, court cost, 60 hours community service, forfeiture of the weapon, and in consideration for that, we're going to dismiss cause number M33534. And he will also be forfeiting that weapon and that cost too.
Okay.
Yeah, we just have, and it's something to be part of that, and that's money.
Mr. Mack, state is offering in cause number M333538 that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $292 plus a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $155 a month. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. The state will be dismissing cause number M33. Well, yeah, the state will be dismissing cause number M333534 for forfeiture of the weapon in that case. And the weapon in this case will also be forfeited as part of the plea bargain. I have before me, in this case, cause number M333538, a motion to forfeit the weapon. Mr. Hall, do you recognize this motion? Excuse me, Mr. Mack, do you recognize this motion?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, I also have before me in cause number M333534, a motion to forfeit the weapon. Do you recognize this motion?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mack, in both of these motions to forfeit, before you signed this document, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? And Mr. Hall, is your desire to ask the court to grant this motion to forfeit the weapons to pull out the police department in each one of these cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hall, the court is, excuse me, Mr. Mack, the court is signing these motions to forfeit the weapons to the Port Arthur Police Department in each one of these cases. And Mr. Hall has just signed these motions. And now, and Mr. Grant has just signed these motions. Now, Mr. Grant, again, excuse me, yeah, Mr. Mack, the state again is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudication probation in cause number M333538 with a fine of $500 for court calls and 60 hours of community service. And the state will be forfeiting you'll be forfeiting the weapon to the Port Arthur Police Department in this case. And you will be forfeiting the weapon in cause number M333534 to the Port Arthur Police Department. And the state will be dismissing cause number M333534, which is the companion case. Now, Mr. Mack, do you understand the state's offers in this case?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in these cases are fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it? Now, Mr. Mack, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And Mr. Mack, I am also signing the dismissal in cause number M333534 that the state has filed. Okay, so I just signed the dismissal in the companion case. Now, Mr. Mack, if you successfully complete the probationary period in cause number M333538, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in conviction in your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. you can talk to an attorney about the non-disclosure. Now, before you leave, I have to give you a document and go over this document with you. Can you pass this to Mr. Mack? Mr. Mack, you've just been handed a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition of Ineligibility to Possess a Firearm or Ammunition. Do you see that title?
Yes, sir.
I will go over this document with you, and it reads as follows. In accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code, Section 46.013, a firearms mean any device made, designed, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of a firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse and neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Mack, the written ammunition that has been given to you is for your records. This will conclude your case. Would you please have a seat? And when the court clerk is ready for you, you ready for it? Okay. Just please stand in front of the clerk to my right and follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
I sent Holmes dismissals to you for NCRP.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the secretary.
Okay, here's a copy of your dismissal. And if I could get you to sign right here on both pages. Okay, and then your right thumbprint 3 times in the tape. Yeah. Then on that one. Here's your copy. You're gonna go to the probation office as soon as you leave here, and here's the address.
Yeah, you all.
You're done.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think.
All right. We have to, Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Reported in session in cause number 23 CCCR 077, excuse me, cause number 23 CCCR 0728. And the case is styled the State of Texas versus Kevin Glenn Abear. Mr. Abear, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Abear, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Abear, you may put your hand down. Mr. Abear, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or these your initials on the line that state you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
The next document I have is Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 2 of this same document, is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Abear, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Abear, I read your answers in the affidavit of indigence. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Langston Adams. Attorney Adams will be given information to contact you. You will also be given information to contact him. Our court clerk, the court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once he gives you that information, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat at that chair, by the first chair by the wall.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
All right, God bless you as well. Our prosecutor, happy birthday. And this will conclude the calling of Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 announcement docket and motion to revoke probation docket on today's date of September 20th, 2023. Everyone, please have a blessed day. Okay, and again, happy birthday.